Do you remember the second Spider-Man movie, the one with Doc Ock?
He should have just been called Doctopus.
I don't think people would take him.
It's me, Doctopus.
Yeah, I think people would not. I think people would not like. I think the problem is, I think people would start to chuckle a little bit when he came in with the intimidating entrance. Like the bricks would explode behind the wall. It's like it's Doctopus, and then everyone would kind of like snicker, and he would all the tension he just built in that moment is just all gone. And
that would be his origin. It'd be like, they laugh at me, they laugh at Doctopus, but who's laughing now?
And he would have to overcompensate. So like once he breaks into the room and he says, "I'm Doctopus" or whatever, and he does the little hand wave, everyone would snicker, and you have to like immediately kill someone to get the room back. He has to like let the audience know this is his show. If you
start a solo podcast, you should call it Doctopus.
I'm not going to call it Doctopus.
You should call it Fat Doctopus.
I'm not going to call it Fat Doctopus.
Factopus. That sounds like you're a cat who knows things. Okay. I wanted to be clear that you're a fat Doctopus. Factopus, not a cat who knows things. Factopus.
Sounds like a fact with a vagina. Like it doesn't sound like a
vagina that says actually.
Can I do the question?
Can you?
Okay, so do you remember? I'm not going to ask. So, Doctor Octopus.
You were about to say Doctopus. You almost said Doctopus. Okay, I bet you could beat Doctor Octopus by just introducing the concept of Doctopus, because people would start saying it, and he'd be like, "It's not Doctopus."
Yeah,
it's Dr. Octavius. It's not even Dr. Octopus.
You have to do a little. He's like, "It's not Doctopus," and you're like, "Well, check the Wikipedia page. Actually, it says Doctopus."
Yeah, official Doctopus.
It's like you changed that.
The way I would beat Doctopus is I would buy www.doctopus.com. I would get the Doctopus name going. Then he would want to buy the domain from me. $4 million, Doctopus. 8 dicks.
You build a Doctopus Twitter, and you get it really popular, and you start
Doctopus.
At Doctopus, and you get that blue check mark. And then you own him, because he comes out and you're like, "Well, I have a blue check mark. What do you got?" And he's like, "Well,"
and then he tries to have his own Twitter, and I ban him for being a fake. That's not Doctopus. I'm Doctopus.
Yeah, you would do at real Doctopus.
At the real Doctopus.
Yeah. I mean, you would get some of your fans probably from throwing on QAnon conspiracies. It's hard to get like people to retweet you and shit and QAnon stuff, but some of it would be Doctopus related.
Oh, no way. I don't agree. I'd be all Doctopus all the time.
You wouldn't.
I would be like,
you wouldn't give in to
it's summer, having a glass of rosé, and what's this? 7 more glasses of rosé. It'd be all my, hands.
You wouldn't.
Actually, he only has 4 robot arms, 2 arms. He's counting his feet as part of the 8. You ever notice that?
No. Can I do my question now? We haven't even.
Do you have a question?
I did. We haven't even gotten to the question yet. So,
was your question not Doctopus?
No, it wasn't. No, I write my questions. You're the one who does bad puns as questions. Okay.
Octopus isn't a pun. It's a lifestyle.
It's a.
I would start a network like Oprah.
It's a brand, actually.
Yeah, the Doctopus Network. And I would have sad women on there, and they would talk about
8 sad
their
women.
Husbands,
and there's be 8 shows of 8 sad women. The question is,
Octopus.
No, okay. So Doctopus, fine. We'll call him Doctopus for the rest. For the rest of the question from the original Spider-Man 2. When I was little, I thought the plot point of the movie, like he puts on the robot arms and then he becomes evil, and I didn't really understand why. So I thought literally one of the plot points of the movie was that having more hands just makes you more evil.
There's more crimes you could do. He's like,
yeah.
Most people wake up and they're like, well, I could do 2 crimes. 1 with each hand, but what's the point of that? I mean, that's not even that much crimes.
Yeah, like there's some morality is absolute and is entirely based on the number of hands you have. So like one-armed people are going to be more
saintly.
Yeah, they're going to be more saints. Like Mother Teresa had no arms. That's what they don't talk about with her.
No armed people, yeah.
Yeah, they're saints and they're beautiful. And I really thought that there was in this world that the number of hands you had and how big your hands were entirely decided how good or evil you were. And I didn't understand why Spider-Man wasn't disarming people in a more literal sense as a means to stop crime.
You didn't understand why Spider-Man wasn't ripping their arms off of them to make them more just.
Good.
And well, okay.
Yeah, I mean, and he would know it. He was hanging out with Doc Ock as Peter Parker the whole time.
It's actually Doctopus.
Doctopus. He was hanging out with Doctopus the whole time. When he became at Real Doctopus on Twitter, he became that. So he would know. And I don't know why he didn't. I mean, he'd have to first tell everybody that morality is entirely based on arms. But even if he didn't, he could just start ripping off people's arms.
What if Doctopus had his 4 arms put on and then he got addicted to the extra arms and he just kept adding more arms and eventually he added 100 arms and he was Doctopede.
Would he still kind of crawl like a centipede?
Yeah, he would have 96 prosthetic arms plus his arms, and he's still counting his legs again. Doctopede.
I think it's a kind of a snake eating itself. I don't think people would stop him. Like, I don't think people would be like, we need to stop him, stop crime. I think just we'll give it enough time.
I mean, every time he would fight Spider-Man and lose, he would add more arms.
Yeah,
like the problem was not enough arms.
Yeah. At some point, he'd become like an Akira kind of situation where he wouldn't really be kind of just a mesh of arms.
Yeah, he would be, now I'm Millipus.
Is this where the whole thing is going to go? Are you just going to keep making bad puns?
I thought Doctopede.
I thought the concept of a universe where more arms is like arms are based on like the number of arms is based on your like morality. I thought there was more there, but sure.
Maybe there's something to like when the Nazis would like goose step and do the thing, they would do the Nazi salute. Maybe that's like they're giving Hitler all these arms.
I think it would
so many arms.
Yeah,
that's why he's so evil.
Yeah, just all the arms.
They're just beaming evil into him.
Mm-hmm. I think some of it would.
Wasn't. Sorry, you go.
Okay,
you go.
Yeah,
you keep. Okay. You talk.
Okay, I'll talk. I think some of it had to. It makes all the Indian religions with the weird like 20 armed gods very confusing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Racist.
Baby monster. What?
You're a racist.
No, it's the number of. They pick the number of arms, and they knew the arm to moral.
I don't know if they knew the arm to moral rule.
Everybody knows the arm. Why wouldn't you? How would you not? That'd be so easy to figure out.
Sounds like the arms rule started with Spider-Man 2, which is pretty recent.
Yeah, and that was one of the most popular movies of its time. It's a cult classic. If you didn't see that movie and you don't know about the arm to moral rule, I think that's really on you as a person.
So you're saying these Indian religions like Hindu and stuff,
they should have
after they saw Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, they should have changed because they saw
they were the only negative reviews for Spider-Man 2.
They were just like, no,
wish I didn't see it.
I went with my son. Now he's questioning our entire faith. Just see how many arms they have. Yeah.
If you were a mad doctor, what animal would you fashion yourself after?
I would be a giraffe, but I would also exclusively do it through.
You'd be a giraffe?
Yeah, but I would do it through arm extensions in the exact same way. Yeah, I would have arms that would kind of go up and hold my head. That's how I would do it.
How would your head? So is your head disconnected from your body?
No, I do.
Does that help you beat Spider-Man?
No, I do that thing where you put the rings on the neck to grow the neck out. Yeah. I don't know if it actually grows the neck or just lowers the shoulders, but
Spider-Man would be like, Dr. Raff, please don't eat the leaf on the tallest tree. We don't. It's so evil if you do that. And you're like, you're too late, Spider-Man.
I'm like Poison Ivy, where I defend nature, but only the high parts of nature, not like
only so shrubs. You can eat it later.
Yeah, I don't defend the shrubs. I defend the tall trees, but only the tops of the tall trees.
The reason you hate Spider-Man so much is because when he swings with his webs, he gets a lot of the branches that you wanted to eat.
Yeah, it's like, bro, that's my food. Yeah.
If you were Dr. Raff, what would your doctorate be in?
Sociology.
I was going to say.
Yeah, right?
You really can see civilization from your vantage point way up there.
Yeah.
By the tallest trees.
People don't like me at parties. I just talk about kind of the evolution of gender throughout society and how we need to protect the tops of trees. And it doesn't do. Mostly Spider-Man attacks me when I'm chatting at social events because I'm ruining it for everybody. I don't really do crime. There's not that many crimes I can do related to tops of trees. There's like
Spider-Man would be a tough hero for you to fight because most heroes can't just swing up there and kick you right in the face.
Yeah, no.
So you don't really defend it much because you're like, I usually won't get kicked in the face. I'm way up here. But Spider-Man.
And I mean, honestly, just a man could solve the problem. There's all this big metal stuff on my neck. There's no balance. You could just push me a little bit. I'm going to fall over.
What if you were a sociologist, like in The Amazing Spider-Man, maybe Amazing Spider-Man 2, where you wanted to change everyone into lizards? What if you thought the way
That's the Amazing Spider-Man. That's the Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay. What if you thought you could bring about equity, diversity, and inclusion into the world by lengthening everyone's necks? Is this the beginning of a good movie? Everyone's necks are different lengths. And it's creating intense inequality and strength.
Wait. Do I want everyone at the same length neck, or do I want everyone to have long neck?
The long necks that are the same length.
Okay, because I'd be worried that it'd be like, I want everyone to have the same length necks. For short length necks people, I do nothing. But when there's tall length necked people, I'd get a saw out. Like, we're gonna fix this.
Remove neck.
Yeah, we're just
with
gonna
a saw.
somebody. Yeah. So I guess I would be a horrifying. Most of the other villains are just trying to rob banks. I am sawing people's heads off and then like sewing them back together. Like, it'd be a real villain. I don't have more for that.
I would be a deer. I would be a robot deer.
What would you?
I would just be skittish.
Would you have antlers?
No, my power would be that I just keep getting hit by cars. Ruin people's cars.
Wait, is it like a scheme? Like, you're trying to make money? Like, you get like hit by a car and then they would
No. I have regular schemes. I'm like, I want to rob a bank, but I always get hit by a car on the way there and when I'm trying to flee. And Spider-Man,
only female deer don't have. So would you have a robot vagina?
And it'd be cute.
That would be very cute.
No one would ever see it because I would be so skittish.
I think people would just think
unless they hit me with their car and then I got all splayed out.
I think people would think you're a nervous transgender person. I don't think anyone would get deer.
They would get deer.
That's my main problem with this pitch right now is I don't think people would get, oh, you're a deer because you have a vagina and you're scared of cars. I don't even think people would notice the scared of cars thing or the vagina.
I'm not scared of cars. I just get hit by them a lot.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think people would notice. I mean, you would just be a guy in a wheelchair that'd be screaming, I have a deer vagina.
On a wheelchair? No, that's part of my ability is that I can just keep getting hit by cars. I'm in the bank
and you're
fine. I'm like, everybody on the ground, I'm rubbing this bank. And then Spider-Man comes in and he says some pun like, I'm going to kick you in your fucking deer face, you little bitch deer, or something clever.
No. He wouldn't do that the first time. You would just be like, oh, you're a robber. And you'd be like, but do you notice anything else about me? And he'd be
he would bust in and I wouldn't say anything. And I would just go like, and just get real still.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh, there's a very scared robber. It's like, I would
be so still. And then I would sort of hop away. Like I would, prance away and then get hit by a car.
This very fruity robber has just gotten hit by a car. I guess my job is done. I don't think you would get to deer.
I'm not fruity. Antlers. I'm primal, like a deer.
I think, okay, how would you hop away primally?
Oh, I can't do it on the treadmill. I'm on a treadmill right now.
That's
for the folks at home. I'm on a treadmill.
Once again, I was trying to get you from earlier. I said I was going to kill you with that treadmill. One gag at a time.
Mm-hmm. Primal deer. I would eat a little bird right in front of Spider-Man, right in front of Aunt May.
Once again, are you going to go to Aunt May's house?
Aunt May would let me in because I'm so majestic.
You should get into improv if you're that good at pretending to be a deer where people are thinking that it's like, you know what? That was a deer. I got it. I know what you're going for.
My real super ability would be my scene work.
There's nothing else. You're not.
I would be like, give me a location. And they'd be like Starbucks, and I would be a deer in Starbucks, and people could just be like, wow. It's like I'm seeing a deer at Starbucks. And then I'd be like, now we're in a canoe. And they're like, how did that canoe get into Starbucks? And they'd laugh, and I'm a deer.
No, you're one note. You're deer man. You're not a canoe man. You can't. And this would all go well until you get hit by a car and you got knocked out, but you would knock out like a deer because you're really good at it. And then the guy would come out and be like, oh man, there's a deer. I better just take it home and eat it. And then he'd put it on top.
That would be the hardest thing is drivers they'd always be trying to put me out of my misery. They would. And I would say, life is going very well for me. Stop trying to crush my head with a rock. Just because you hit me with a car, that's my thing.
And they would try to shush you, like, shh, deer. I'm like, no, I'm speaking English. It's like, that's you're speaking deer right now. I couldn't.
They'd be like, they'd have their rock, and they're like, it's okay. And I'd be like, I'm at a Starbucks. And they'd be like, wow, it really feels like I'm squishing your head at a Starbucks.
You would have to watch out. You couldn't ever go to like a park or anything. People would shoot you. You'd get shot. Also, I think even as an improv person, you wouldn't be well liked because he's like, yeah, man, he has the deer down, but like, we don't need a deer in every scene.
What if there was a real, like, this is actually kind of a pitch. What if there was a supervillain who his ability, like, he was like the evil improv guy. And if anybody ever did give him a suggestion, he could make everyone around him believe they were in the thing. Hello? Sort of like Mysterio, but like improv.
He would have to do it. He would have to start every crime at an improv show.
No, you'd start, you'd be robbing a bank. Spider-Man comes in and you'd go, are there any birthdays tonight? Oh, how old are you turning? Yes. And can we get a location and an object and a mood? And Spider-Man would be all annoyed. And I'd go, hey, Spider-Man. And they'd say, in the jungle, a bowling pin
I don't think they would.
And then suddenly Spider-Man would think he was in the jungle and there'd be a bowling pin and he'd be feeling silly. And then I would shoot him in the face with a gun.
None of the improv stuff mattered at all.
It was very important because the crowd had fun.
Yeah, but the problem I have is you are at the whim of the crowd. What if
I have a gun? I came there 20 minutes early and I told the lady, I say, hey, I'm going to say this. You're going to say it's your birthday. You're going to say you're turning 34. I'm going to say happy birthday. Then you're going to say the jungle bowling pin silly. And I'm going to fucking kill your hero.
No, I think there's going to be a scene where you're going to be like, is it anyone's birthday? And then a little kid's just going to keep screaming it's his birthday.
Well, I guess we're going to watch a kid die. That's going to be,
I think you're going
to be like, give me an object. And they're going to be like a young corpse. And I'm going to be like something else.
I think you're gonna be like the little kids are like, it's my birthday. And then you're going to pull the gun and shoot him. You're like, is it anyone else's birthday? And then people are like, dude, we don't even want to do, we don't want to do this improv game, man. You just shot a kid.
No, they'll be excited about it.
Yeah. It was his birthday too. He was turning 11. You didn't even let him pick the scene. You just shot him with an actual gun. You'd let him pick
whether he gets cremated.